Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast,
where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We have received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as cerumen impaction and florist sealingist. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, I am worried about the state of the world.
Okay, hold on. There are 50 states. And are you sure that that's a state? The world?
I mean, I think that's the 51st state.
Okay.
There's the 50 states of the United States of America, and then there's etc. That's the state of etc., which is everything else on the rest of the planet. And Dr. London, we should declare a state of emergency because today's youth have no idea the importance of going to the doctor.
Probably because they're pretty young and healthy, the ones who aren't going. Like they're not in the age group where you'd expect for a lot of pathologies to exist. Except that they do go for the regular, vaccination checkups, things like that.
That is a lot. That's what a lot of people say is, oh, they don't have to go to the doctor because they're kids, or oh, they already go to the doctor for regular checkups. But what I'm here to say is, no, that's not the reason. The reason is because these hospitals, these doctors' offices, they're not kid-friendly, Dr. London.
Okay.
Have you sat in a hospital waiting room?
No, I would never. I would never.
Well, of course, okay. Of course you wouldn't, because if a medical emergency came up, you'd, of course, be able to operate on yourself and do whatever you need to do.
Well, and they let me through the doors pretty quick. I don't sit around in there.
Right. You can scan your badge and just get through the door.
Hang out.
You don't have to
Yeah, I'll get inside, do whatever indoor. Yeah.
Which we don't have to talk about that now. That is completely unfair is when I am in line to see the doctor and then I see a doctor skip the line entirely and just go right back into the operating rooms or whatever. And it's like, okay, you should probably wait your turn just like everyone else.
Well, okay, yeah, it is beside the point because I have counterpoints there, but
I mean, Dr. London, I just think bigger picture, we should brainstorm a couple ideas to make the doctor a little more palatable for today's kids. Because these, if I go to even a family doctor, they've got maybe a kid's toy. They've got it's like balls on a little track thing. It's like a marble on a thing. And it's like, what is that? It's not even a game. There's no points. No one's yelling at you. No one's saying anything. No one's swearing or anything.
Yeah, you want team sports. Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. So Dr. Linden, what can we do? You're at the hospital every single day. What can we do to save Gen Alpha? And make it a place that's kid-friendly.
Okay. I get just top of my head. I guess we could have more bedpans. Kids like that, right? That they like to go pee.
Kids. Okay, that's very interesting. Yes, from what I know about kids, they love to pee. I have this niece, right? She is a pee fiend every day, every single day. It's almost like an addiction. I've told her parents
no,
not
every day.
Every day. 365 days a year, she's peeing. And you'd think she'd grow out of it. She's 45 years old.
Huh. And she, out of her own body. She doesn't have a fake.
If she does, she's hiding it. But I've been talking to her parents. I'm saying, okay, I don't think this is right. But the kids love it. That's the thing. This is one of those things from our generation. We're a little bit older. We've got to maybe accept that things that we thought of as kind of dangerous might be what the kids actually want, which is to pee every day. So I think bedpans is a really, really good place to start.
Okay. So I guess more bedpans in the waiting room. Maybe confetti. Should there be confetti in there too?
Confetti is pretty good. This is what I worry about is that the parents who like myself might be waiting in line would with their kids would confuse the confetti for sort of a nice treat that the hospital is giving us, end up choking on the confetti because I'm sort of snapping out of the air with my mouth.
Right. And then it's also the heads that would hit together because everyone's competing for the confetti.
Oh, yeah, and CTE.
Yeah.
CTE would be a concern at that
Yeah.
point because we're hitting our heads together so hard.
Yeah. Okay. So is it okay? Yeah. So I take it back. No confetti, just bedpans.
Bedpans is a really good idea. I'm also thinking, so kids these days, they're really into these memes, right?
Okay. No, I hadn't heard about this.
So there's these things online that are called these memes, right? And it'll be like a picture of an orange, and like the orange will have like eyeballs on it, and that's like not a normal orange. And it'll maybe
They don't have that though. That's not how an orange is.
This is the glory of the internet and Photoshop, Dr. London, is you can create things that don't exist. And also AI. So AI invented this orange, and it talks, and it has eyes, and it says things that like, whoa, and it says things like, you're dumb, or just like really funny stuff like that.
That is funny.
So that's sort of what memes are. And one of these memes is this guy, Rick Astley, who sang the song Never Gonna Give You Up. And he is old, and I really think that if we sort of trapped him, he would not be able to escape. So what I'm suggesting is putting in the emergency room of your hospital is a chained up Rick Astley.
Okay. Yeah. Is it just one chain, just one ball and chain, or are we going to get all hands and legs, like the wrists and the ankles? Just cost wise.
I mean, he's kind of old. I don't think he's like old, but he's about 60, and I don't think you need more than maybe one or two balls that you have to attach his chains to.
Yeah, just like
I'm just trying to think of costs.
Just like the cost wise, like that's a lot of ore that we'd have to smelt. But no, if that's what we need to get Gen Alpha to show up to the hospitals, and that's what we got to do. I guess that's the initiative. Okay, and I guess he'll go on tour, hospital to hospital. Rick will.
That will be really difficult with the chains, I would imagine. So no, he won't be doing that. He'll be performing every single minute of every single day at your hospital.
Okay, so mine will be more of the pilot program. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I can, like, we do sort of, it's implied that there's a Rick Astley area anyway. So,
I mean, is there one more thing that we can add that kids love TikTok, they love video games?
Well, I know when I was a kid,
Bluey, yeah.
I really liked, like, I was jealous because my older brothers got to play with the big knives. So if we just had some big knives, like, like the Australian, this is a knife kind of thing, like big knife, just, I guess, around.
That's an interesting idea, but I think unlike our generation, kids these days, they don't want to do things for themselves. They want it already done. So we could cut to the chase, just stab every kid once that comes in. Because that's the ultimate result of handing every kid a knife, right?
And that's why you get a knife, yeah. To stab or to get stabbed, depending on like what your hobbies are. Okay. So we'll have Rick Astley there singing, and we'll have each kid stabbed, and we'll have bedpans, which can help to catch the blood, so it's not too messy. And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
So do look forward to that. But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of the living. However, in our efforts to cater to them, we found that we were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. So, some of this week's feedback comes from TikTok. Okay, and this is a bot on TikTok. It's a comment on our response to it's a medical term. If you're that smart, you should know this. At Smeepless said, quote, Dr. London, what is your major in? End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. As you all may know, after I earned my bachelor's and doctorate degrees, I did enroll in community college, which I assume is what this is about. And so I am majoring in arts and crafts right now.
Oh, wow. That's huge for you. You thought you'd never be able to do it. You said you got the arts part down, but the crafts were kicking your ass.
I'll say my best grades are in crayon. They're specifically like yellow. I'm pretty good at, but my worst grades are still in playtime and making friends. Because that part of that is the crafts part. So like I'll say it's my major. I won't say I'm doing great at it because school is hard, and it's a struggle, and just students out there know what I'm talking about. But thank you for asking.
And I know you didn't ask me, but for me, I'm also enrolled in college. It's sort of a specialty college. I'm majoring in aggravated assault for 12 to 18 months. And that's why if you're watching the Patreon episode, me and London aren't in the same room right now. I'm actually on location in sort of a special place with some new friends. But we'll see. Hopefully I'll graduate early.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, not like I don't actually hope, because like when I've been around you, it's felt pretty unsafe. But like, so thank you so much for that feedback. We have another comment. So this one is on TikTok, and it's a comment on our response to "I will drag my balls across yo face like a grandfather clock." At Cuttle Thudini said, quote, "Y'all are the goats, crying emoji. This video is too dominant, great, holy," and I think that's 6 Ys. And then they said fire emoji. So thank you so much for this feedback. And I hate that I have to clarify this so much, but we are not currently goats. Okay?
No, that was I do get the confusion because in both of our previous lives we were a couple of kids, as they said, but we were goats. And I'm not really thrilled to talk about it. I didn't have the best time as a goat.
Okay, yeah, I heard it. I know you've been going through this in therapy. Do you feel like it's okay to share now, or do you want to?
You know what? I would love to be honest on this podcast for once in my damn life. You know what I mean? Yeah, there was a lot of times when I was a goat where, I'm just doing what goats do, right? Like I'm doing like my actual nature, which is sort of like chasing punk bitches around and running them down with my horns.
Can I tell you for a second? I affirm you in this. Right,
you've been there. Like, what else am I supposed to be doing? This is the kind of thing. And so then, like, my parent, or I guess like my owners or whatever, but like my mom and dad were like, "You can't do that. Don't do that." And they would put me in a separate pen from the other animals or other people or whatever. And it's like, I'm sorry. I'm just doing the thing that I was programmed to do. But I guess I'm in the wrong.
It's like we live in a screwed up world is ultimately like what I can say about that, right? And like, yeah, whenever it is once again, that is one
People
part of why you're
starving. There's climate change, credit scores, NBA on TNT. Like, there's all these different things going on in the world.
It's honestly, I think you've shared enough. Okay. For your sake, I think you've done plenty, and I'll tell your therapist again, like to stop letting you out. But thank you so much for that feedback. That's really helpful, and I hope we answered your question. Now for today's medical topic, minimal change disease. Minimal change disease is the most common cause of nephrotic syndrome in children and is a primary glomerular disorder. Nephrotic syndrome, as opposed to nephritic syndrome, has clinical findings of edema, which is swelling, They'll have a hypercoagulable state, which means like increased blood clots, and an increased risk of infection. Lab findings include a urine protein excretion rate greater than 3.5 grams per 24 hours. They'll have hypoalbuminemia and hyperlipidemia with fatty casts in the urine. Remember that nephrotic syndrome, these have protein loss. That's how I remember it. PROT. Nephrotic syndrome, protein loss as a defining characteristic. Minimal change disease is most common in children, and Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma have been associated with minimal change disease. Minimal change disease is named after the fact that in these patients, there are no histologic, meaning microscopic, abnormalities on light microscopy, but on electron microscopy, you can see a fusion of few processes. Patients with minimal change disease have an excellent prognosis and are typically responsive to steroid therapy within 4 to 8 weeks, although relapses can
And
occur.
is this, I mean, Dr. London, is this sort of similar to why you've been looking the way you've been looking, just in terms of steroid therapy? And I know you're prepping for like your Marvel role.
Yeah. I'm trying to be the new Miss Marvel when they do a reboot of Miss Marvel.
I mean, you're expecting that to come out somewhere around like 2040, like 2046, something like that. And do you think by the time you get there, if you take enough steroids, you'll be ready?
They'll have changed, because like it's got to go through, the executives have to give notes, and by the time the notes are given, the current iteration of Miss Marvel, which is a young Indian woman, like teenager, high school age, she becomes a superhero, and so I'm hoping that this isn't really me hoping, this is me seeing the landscape. What I expect to happen is that executives will say, what if she was a guy? And what if she was a white cis straight guy? Who's American and who's tall and skinny. Like, these are all things that I know will come in the future, and I just want to be ready to be there, when the need arises. All right, Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London.
All right, well, hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com, and this is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
Hi, I'm Molly O'Flanagan.
All right. And I'm sorry, where's that accent from? Is that Icelandic?
Oh, no, it's from Dublin. Not to be confused with Kerry or Cork, Dublin proper. From the south side, not the north side. God forbid, not the north side.
Yeah, I can tell from Dr. London's face he was thinking the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah. Is that the side with the Guinness brewery?
No, but it is the side with all of the old man pubs. The proper pints, the proper pours, the good creamy heads. You're not going to get those at the factory storehouse. You're going to get them at the old man pubs on the south side.
Well, hello there, Molly O'Flanagan. What brings you here today?
Well, actually, a few things. First of all, I have been doing Irish dance my whole life, and I've been having a lot of pain in my sciatica. And also, I was hearing about this disease that you were talking about, and I was wondering, you Miss Marvel. It's funny because I actually thought one day that I would play Miss Marvel, only I would play old Miss Marvel, which is actually me as an old lady and a college cheerleader at Oh Miss, so that I could be the college cheerleader, old lady superhero, old Miss Marvel.
Okay. And those executives will love that. Okay.
Oh, you're panicking, Dr. London.
A little
you're
bit.
Like, you have this 20-year plan and it's already, yeah.
Well, so I guess I would play the younger Miss Marvel. Is that how we?
Well, I just figure if we were going to go from a high school age beautiful Indian girl to an older white cis male, then why not also go for a frail, fragile old lady who's sort of from Middle America but also from the South, and she's almost lovably cantankerous.
I get, so we're talking casting. I guess that's really what today's focus is. Casting for the Marvel movies reboot. in what are we thinking? 20, 30 years?
I heard the year 2040, if I'm not mistaken, which is about 16 years from now.
Okay. If we count. Okay, so 16 years. I'm trying to think of what I can, because obviously it's a very competitive field. We are going to have to differentiate both of ourselves from the rest to show that we could be the best Miss Marvel.
All Miss Marvel. Mine is very specific. It's got to take place at the university in America or it doesn't work.
Right. And then for me, I will play the young Miss Marvel. And which, I don't think, maybe not as, I'm thinking either younger than what she's been so far, just so it doesn't confuse the audience, or slightly older.
Like you'd be like a prequel.
Yeah, something like that. Well, it's time travel and stuff. They love that. Those executives love the time travel stuff.
Oh, so. I hope Benedict Cumberbatch is in it. I love him. He's a Brit, but I love him anyway.
Dr. Lennon, it wasn't just casting, but I believe our guest actually wanted to talk a little bit about, medicine. Didn't you mention something about a disease?
I did. I was saying that I grew up doing Irish dance, and now that I'm a little bit older and I'm no longer a spring chicken, I've got a little bit of pain in my sciatica.
Yeah. Well, you want to avoid that.
And I'm hoping, are there steroids that I can take? Have I lost protein? Do I need to eat more of that good Irish beef? What can I do, Dr. London?
Well, one thing I would say, if we are going to be desperate to reference that medical lesson, it was pretty heavy on these are children who tend to get minimal change disease and who respond to steroids. But your illness might have something to do. Let me think. So if let's say you're Irish dance, do you Irish dance a lot now? Or have you...
Oh no, I have too much sciatica pain in my leg. And I wake up every day and I try to shake it out because I hear it's good for it, but it's not doing anything for me long term.
I'm trying to think of whenever I have pain. I usually lay down, take a nap.
I love napping. Oh, give me a good cozy day, a duvet day.
And as you said, I like to eat food sometimes too. I hope this is all helpful. This is just like my professional experience. Yeah, okay. So do that. Cameron, I know you've had pain, but you brought it on yourself, correct?
You're asking if most of my pain is self-inflicted?
Yeah.
That sort of depends on your definition of self-inflicted.
Is pain not all self-inflicted if it's afflicted upon the self?
Wow. And that, just from a philosophical standpoint, is blowing my mind. Because I was going to say, who's to say why I'm injured? Usually, in the same way, you've heard the phrase suicide by cop. A lot of time it's like beating by cop, but it's like intentional. I'm trying out for MMA, and I figure that's sort of like the best way forward, is getting into sort of these bouts with cops. And that's where most of the pain in my life comes from. I would say between that and just crippling depression, I would say those two things are like the top two.
The childhood trauma.
Not understanding the ending of Lost. That's a big pain that I've really struggled with for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's has gone downhill in the last few years, and that's been a big struggle. I'd say those are the top four.
We don't even have Wendy's in Dublin.
Oh no, I can't even imagine what that's like.
I had it once when I went to New York. Oh, we eat other food, locally grown. It's way more fresh, doesn't taste as good.
I guess I don't follow.
I think it's mostly mutton based.
And do they...
It's a lot of root veg and, meats.
Yeah, no, because they have that at Wendy's is what I'm... Okay.
Yeah, a root veg, the baked potato, and then meats, the burgers and chicken. And chili.
Yeah, and you're sure that isn't a Wendy's? Could it be our accent that's confusing you? Wendy? Because
no, I know what Wendy's is. I've been to New York, actually. I went and I saw the Empire State Building in Staten Island.
Whoa!
Oh, it was
in
grand.
The flesh?
Yeah, it was good crack. But I had Wendy's there, and I loved the spicy chicken sandwich, and it was so good. And then when I got home, I we didn't have any.
I did assume Wendy was Irish just with the red hair, but I guess Scottish is maybe where she's leaning. Yeah.
I actually think she's American, but she's probably more Scottish than Irish.
Who knows? There's no way to know. I've been trying to call her for months, and she doesn't answer. She only goes through PR people. So I honestly have no idea.
Does she age? Or is she still a child?
This is one of the questions I've been trying to ask. And then I just get a call from the PR people saying, "Oh, Wendy's not feeling well. She'll meet up for an interview later." We've been trying to get her on this podcast for like a really
I'm sorry. It is like, it's just a culture shock thing. I'm sure you get this all the time whenever you talk to Americans and they don't understand your fast food situation. But so when you don't go to a Wendy's, if we could just take step by step through it. You're walking down the street, or driving, and you.
I walk or I take the Lewis.
And who?
It's like a rail line. It's like a rail line through Dublin.
Yeah, it's driven by one of the One Direction members.
The one named Lewis.
So so I'm trying to. So you ride a train in the caboose. Sorry, that's all my. Okay. And then you stop at a food place that isn't a Wendy's.
It's not a Wendy's. No, we've got Supermax.
Like the prisons?
No, it's kind of like McDonald's, but it's like Irish McDonald's.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's just a language thing.
Which this is confusing to me because Irish McDonald's is Wendy's. Like that's what I've always sort of called it.
I'm trying to. And I hate for us to get stuck on this because I'm sure there's a lot more about your culture to know. But like,
no, there's not. We've got Supermax, the real deal for Irish fast food.
Do they have Happy Meals?
No, but I would argue that when you leave, you're happier than when you entered.
Okay, well, that's not true of the other things either.
Yeah, I feel like with the other places like Wendy's, you're usually kind of disappointed when you
in
leave.
yourself,
you're like, oh, okay.
And in the industry and the corporate world.
Well, and there's almost certainly better fast food burgers.
Within
half a mile
for sure.
Like you're kind of like, oh yeah.
You're thinking I wish there was anything remotely fresh nearby. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep going to this because it's familiar and like it costs maybe $1 less.
No, but Molly, I mean, just the fact that you are an Irish dancer in Ireland, I do want to ask, like, do you have any sort of relationship with Michael Flatley, the Lord of the Dance?
He is the Lord of the Dance. I don't know him personally, but my cousin's boyfriend's sister-in-law danced on Riverdance with Michael Flatley back in the 90s. And she brings it up all the time. I mean, truly, it's pretty annoying. Like, we get it. You dance with Michael Flatley, who, yes, he's the Lord of the Dance, but you're not, Sheila. Okay? Can you please just stop? We're all here for Christmas. We're trying to have a good time. We don't need to relive your glory days from nearly 30 years ago.
I feel like I'm detecting a little jealousy here. Just going to throw that out there.
Does she have a video? Is there a video of it?
I'm sure you could find one on TikTok. She's leaning into it for all it's worth. Look at me when I was young and I got to travel the world doing Riverdance with Michael Flatley.
Yeah, that's got to be so annoying. But what's her name on there? What's her handle?
Sheila O'Houlihan.
Right. Oh, can't imagine how annoying.
This is very similar, Dr. London, to a lot of your TikToks, which are, look at me, I'm so young, I'm Miss Marvel, I'm young Miss Marvel, I'm younger than the one in the movie from a couple years ago.
Yeah, well, on that note, like, did you see she got the part after she had cosplayed as Miss Marvel?
Oh,
so I feel like, yeah, she'd really done it. So I feel like
if you cosplay as 11-year-old Miss Marvel, you really think that within 20-ish years. Okay, I get it.
It's a campaign, you know? Deadpool got made by just trying for years and years to make it, I assume. So,
well, I mean, all they had to do to get Deadpool made was have a really rich guy say, I want this. I want to be the lead character in this movie. Make me the lead character in your movie.
And then leak the footage of their test shots or whatever before they, like, when it was definitely shut down and then it was so popular. Yeah. So I've been trying to do a lot of my own test shots and videos and leaking them on TikTok. But like, they haven't gotten quite the traction that I thought. And so I'm
They've
wondering
barely
if,
gone viral. Yeah.
Yeah, barely.
You just got to keep putting them out there. You just got to keep doing it. You should put out a video every single day.
Oh, is that? I mean, are you on TikTok? Are you on the socials out there and know a lot of social media stuff?
I just know that the most important things are persistence and resilience, and that's what I've learned throughout my entire dance career. And if it means that for the meanwhile, I just have to do small gigs on Grafton Street for the tourists, then that's what I have to do for now.
Well, it is a lot of street performers there, but like how much do you make per street, like per Grafton Street performance? I guess is one of my questions up front.
On a good day, I'll probably pull 80 to 100 quid. But then if I also take a video and then I post it, then I sort of can gain more traction for longevity purposes.
And I hate to switch this up, but like, so Sheila, your cousin, whatever, does she ever do collabs with doctors who want to be Miss Marvel? Maybe like, is there? And like, it's not even. And I want to hear your stuff so much, but
I'm gonna interrupt. I'm really sorry. Dr. London has been doing this lately, where he's trying to get a date through the podcast. Dr. London's type is cousins. That is, I mean, that's really, I mean, would you say, are you attracted to anyone other than a cousin, Dr. London?
Well, just like so far of who I've met, that's just typically who, there's a spark, and yeah, I don't think it's weird to point it out like that. Like it's normal.
No, I just want to let our guests know, when a cousin is mentioned, Dr. London, his antennas start pointing that way and are like, oh, okay, I've got to meet this cousin.
If you want to tie yourself to that dead weight, then you go right ahead. But she smells like egg cress sandwiches, so hopefully that's a scent that's good for you.
That's what cousins smell like typically, right?
Yeah, that's the usual cousins.
Yeah, I would say that's the typical cousin smell.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I don't want to like generalize, but like, yeah, that's kind of okay. And once again, I want to hear your thing, Molly, but like Sheila. So so Sheila's into dancing in the 90s that she did for hobbies.
Mm-hmm. When she toured on Riverdance with Michael Flatley, and it I wouldn't say that she's done a ton of work since, but she like really hangs on to like that experience,
right.
And like that's the thing that she defines herself by.
Okay, so I have something to talk about.
Have you seen Riverdance?
Is that the?
Have you seen
is that
it?
next to a river?
No, it's not a location. It's not. There's not a specific area next to a river called Riverdance.
Well, it seems pretty poorly named then, huh?
It is. It's terribly named. But no, it's this crazy guy. He goes on stage and he sort of flails around in sort of like these insane mannerisms, and everyone sort of just like watches him like go nuts.
So the man is Riverdance?
The man is Riverdance, and then he's got all these friends with him. And it sounds like the cousin is one of these friends.
It's sort of like if the Rockettes did Irish dance, and instead of being all ladies, the main one was a man who was the lord of the dance.
He is.
I've been to New York and I saw the Rockettes, and they were pretty
He
impressive.
is their god. I do want to specify, Dr. London, like I know romantically you're already looking at this, Lord of the Dance dancer, but you would have to convert religions.
You would have to get a Michael Flatley tattoo. It'd have to go across your entire back, and it's his name, and then it's Lord of the Dance, and then it's his full body doing Irish step. So it's like one of those like chick dicks where you got his torso, and then like 3 different positions of his legs, which represent the dancing.
Right. Okay. I'm thinking of the other cousins I've been into and the tattoos I got for them. And like I'm trying to think, can I kind of twist what I've already got into the right tattoo?
I guess it like depends on the location, you know, because this like very specifically has to be on your back. And it has to be like across your angel wings is like Michael Flatley, like those Disneyland shirts that I see people wear. And then right under that, it's got to say Lord of the Dance, but in like Lord of the Rings font. And then it has to have Michael Flatley the rest of your back from like below that text to basically right at your bum. And it's got to be him dancing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I think
in the like split parts, it should be large enough where in the right lighting, someone standing behind you will think there's a man dancing in front of them, staring at them.
And it's all black ink so that if you're wearing a white t-shirt, people can see through it because Michael Flatley is Lord above all.
And a wet t-shirt. Yes.
Well, I was about to say, Dr. London, most of your shirts are like they come pretty wet, so I feel like that's
because I am usually trying to show off my back tattoo, which is of a Statue of Liberty, drunk and kind of falling over, which is kind of like a dance move. And then
you said that was a political statement. What was the statement?
God, it was like something about the French. I can't see it. It's on my back.
Oh,
but like I'm pretty sure it's political. I think it was about freedom fries, and saying like the Iraq War was a good thing, and the French should have helped us to look for the weapons of mass destruction.
And then they didn't because of freedom fries. That is a big opinion to hold.
Yeah,
they were too busy making freedom fries. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well. Oh, Molly, I wanted to ask you something about yourself, but I feel like we are out of time.
I mean, Dr. London, I think you should be able to offer some actual, real, solid medical advice. Not just lay down, hang out with your friends, go to the mall or whatever you said.
Eat food, take naps.
Eat food, yeah. I feel like you can offer something a little more substantial.
You saying that to me just now made me think like, oh, that is a good idea. I should eat some food and take a nap. So it's hard. Okay, drink 2 liters of water a day. Let's see. I'd say try to
make
do
your
some
bed.
Cardio. We differ on that. I don't think you need to make your bed. Just have your maids do it.
Yeah, that's the one thing you and Jordan Peterson disagree about is the importance of making your bed. Everything else is the exact same belief system.
Well, when we go to the bar and have a few, we really do talk about a lot of, but we do end up arguing about that the whole time. Like, your bed looks like that. I'm like, yeah. I took a picture just to show you, buddy. But he is my buddy, obviously. Anyway, so that's the advice. It's medical advice. So thank you so much, Molly O'Flanagan, for being on the podcast. I hope we answered a lot of your questions about your cousin. Is there anyone you want to shout out? Anything you're a fan of?
I'm a really big fan of Johnny Walsh. All of her social media is at Johnny the Girl, Johny, the girl as it's spelled. She's good crack. She's a good time. I love her.
Okay. All right. So do look for that. Thank you so much to Molly O'Flanagan. Thank you to Molly's cousin. Maybe we'll hang out something later. Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.